Hi, I'm Rob Parnell and this is Right Now. Today we look at location in fiction, where to set your stories for best effect and easiest writing. When it comes to writing fiction, there are numerous advantages to creating a make-believe setting, whether it be a house, a street, a town, or even a whole country. Not only do you not need to worry about little things like trains and bus schedules, what time the sun sets, what kind of flowers bloom where, wherever, you've also got free rein to do descriptions of the buildings, the streets, the municipal systems, even the types of government. Thorough writers who set their fiction in the real world can spend a lot of time checking police procedures, technology, and how real places look, feel, and operate. But when you make everything up, you save on all that research. Okay, you still need to use your mind to imagine everything, but no one can ever turn around to you and say you got something wrong, because you just can't be wrong. You can use semi-real places that are fictional, so you don't have to worry about total veracity. Because unless you're writing fantasy or, science fiction, you don't need to go so far as to invent everything. Many writers choose to invent just a town and the people in it, and leave the country and the state and its political system intact. This is a good way to create something credible without being a slave to the truth. One major disadvantage is that readers have gotten used to modern fiction being set in real places. Sometimes they even expect it. Therefore, if you present a fictional town, some readers will balk and cry, "Well, if that's not real, how can I believe anything else this guy says?" Like it's fiction, right? Some readers may feel cheated that you as the author are somehow playing God and consequently can shape the rules in your world. Well, the trouble is this may hinder their willing suspension of disbelief. Plus, there's a real need to identify. People like things to hold on to, things that seem and feel real. Sometimes one of the advantages of setting your story in New York, Paris or London can be that the reader is filling in the details for you. Place a reader in a nebulous, unfamiliar environment and they'll feel lost unless you describe it fully, which may in turn slow down the pace of your story. Stephen King's Castle Rock is a very familiar place. He uses it in many of his novels, but what many people don't realise is that the place is completely imaginary. Sure, it's based on several places in Maine, but it's designed to be a credible backdrop rather than a real place. Kathy Reichs uses real Canadian cities as the backdrop to her novels, describing them with a freshness that makes them feel very real, especially to readers who may never have experienced them firsthand. It's kind of interesting that her stories have been moved to the US, and more specifically Washington, for the TV viewing public in the shape of Bones, one of my favourite shows. Talking of shows I love, Elementary, and I love the way they've put Sherlock Holmes and Watson in modern day New York. Absolute genius. Plus, I love the theme tune by Sean Connery. J.K. Rowling uses a combination of real English places like London and Oxford and imaginary locations like Hogwarts to root her reality in real life, but also give the latitude to take her readers on a magical journey. There's no right or wrong way to do these things. Only one rule is important. Whether your location is real or imaginary, it must be totally believable. So, if you're tempted to invent a city, where do you start? Well, make a map. Start small, with just one street and move outward from there. Some of my stories, 2 novels and about a dozen short stories, are set in a fictional town, loosely based on the place I grew up in, called Westridge, or sometimes Westbridge. I have a map. It's just a sheet of A4 I have near my desk when I write these stories. Sometimes I will add to it if I decide I want one of my characters to walk around a park or drive over a bridge or climb a hill or whatever. The best part is that it's organic. It grows larger and more complex with every story. At the moment it is bars, clubs, shops, roads, hills, rivers, housing estates, statues, parks, fountains, and best of all, it's as real to me as anything. So why not invent your own city? Especially if you're making up a story to go with it. It could be a lot of fun. Keep writing. Any suggestions for videos, feedback, requests for guidance, all welcome. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, or go visit my website and get free writing stuff. See you soon.